And then just let me know when it's okay to start, Carrie Ann.
You're good to go, Kirsten.
Okay, thank you. So students, welcome. My name is Dean Kirsten Schnatter. I am the first-year dean in the Rutgers Business School, New Brunswick undergrad program. I want to thank you for joining us today. Just so you're aware, we are being recorded today, but actually just me, so that students that are not able to join us for a virtual session, a virtual live session as it were, can actually do APA from home by viewing this recording. Just a little bit of housekeeping first. If you're joining us today, you'll notice that your microphones have all been muted. That is quite purposeful. The feedback is really awful if too many microphones are on at once, so we try to limit that. Carrie Ann, who is managing this session for us today and hosting, has all of your microphones muted. Should any questions occur to you during the session, please be sure to just jot them down and we will handle your questions later. We'll be happy to answer as many questions as you might have during the breakout sessions at the very end. So I will not actually be doing Q&A as a part of my plenary session today, but once we move to smaller groups for a breakout session, you'll have plenty of time for question and answer. So as questions occur to you as I move along, please be sure to jot them down. We think that that would make the session flow better than to interrupt too many times with Q&A during the plenary session itself. So I addressed the microphones being muted and questions, and I think that we're ready to go. In a second, I'm going to share my desktop, and you'll see that I'll be sharing with you not only a PowerPoint that we've prepared for you for today, but also different websites that I want to walk you through so it can help you make good choices on your course request form, which we will also walk you through so you get an idea of what to do on the online course request form. Okay? Let's see. Just moving over to, I can't share desktop with this, it seems. I'm going to have to just toggle between PowerPoint and Excel. Okay, so again, welcome. You are at Academic Planning and Advising for the Rutgers Business School, New Brunswick program. Welcome to the incoming class of 2024. We're glad to have you with us today. Let's make sure before you invest an hour or two of your time, let's make sure you're at the right APA, okay? This is Academic Planning and Advising only for freshmen that are entering the Rutgers Business School, New Brunswick program. If you are a new freshman coming into the School of Arts and Sciences or Engineering or SEBS, which is School of Environmental and Biological Sciences, this is the wrong WebEx APA for you. So you want to check out the APA information for the school in which you enrolled at your My Rutgers dashboard. So please feel free to exit the meeting now if your friend told you about this link and it turns out you're not coming into the business school like your friend is. We don't want to waste your time. The advising staff that's with us today, just so you know who the people are in your breakout rooms, it's me. Again, I'm Assistant Dean for Freshmen, Sophomores, and also the SAS Honors Program. Ms. Melba Blanco and Ms. Nicole Martinez, my partners in advising crime. Well, not really crime, but anyway, my partners in freshman advising. Ms. Blanco, Ms. Martinez, you want to give a quick hello?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, everyone. I decided to allow you to put a face to the name today. I'm Nicole.
Thanks for the video there, Nicole. Ms. Lady Garcia Cosbert, she's one of our sophomore advisors.
Hi, everyone. Nice to have you.
And Carrie Ann Italiano, again, she is hosting for us today. She is from the undergrad office, and without her, this session would be a mess. You don't want to rely on my tech abilities ever, so thank you for that, Carrie Ann. Later on, if you are in either the SAS Honors Program or the Honors College, your breakout session will be with the appropriate advisors for your particular honors population. So if you're in the SAS Honors Program and incoming to the business school, you would do the breakout session with me today. For the Honors College, I believe we have Ms. Danielle Arieta with us today. And we'll let you know where you're going later when it's breakout room time, okay? So just a quick shout out for our social media. We're not big into this, but we have some. We have a Facebook page for the incoming class of 2024 that is maintained by the freshman advisors, particularly Ms. Blanco. We also have a blog, which really isn't terribly active until the school year gets started. Dean Markowitz, my boss and the Senior Associate Dean of the undergrad program, he has a Twitter feed. We have an Instagram that's maintained by the business school students, by the social media ambassadors. Most importantly, though, please keep up with your email. Read your email regularly all summer, at least once a week. You never know when you might have missed something important from us. We will try not to drown you in email, but I would say that during the summer months, I might reach out maybe once or twice a month just with an update on where we are in the scheduling process. The email that you should be checking, by the way, is whatever email you supplied on your admissions application. We're not really yet using your Scarlet Mail very much, okay? I might email Scarlet Mail if I have a question about something that you put on your course request form, but by and large, we're emailing you this summer at your Gmail or whatever email you utilized when you applied to Rutgers University. So that's what you should be checking in with from time to time. So APA, again, this is academic planning and advising. So let's just talk about what you'll be doing today and why you're here. We'll talk about the 3 phases of your college education in the business school. You have 6 pre-business courses to take, 6 prerequisites. Nobody jumps right in and starts taking courses in mortgage-backed securities and futures and options. There are prerequisites, or what we call pre-business courses, like math and economics courses. We'll talk about your first 3 semesters in the business school, your math and English placement test results and how they affect your course selection, and they do affect your course selection. General education requirements, or the SAS core curriculum. Every 4-year collegiate school of business has some kind of general ed system, and the Rutgers Business School is no different. We'll talk about the cool seminars available to you as an incoming freshman. There are Burn seminars taught by faculty and FIGS seminars taught by juniors and seniors majoring in those disciplines. We'll talk about how to complete your course request form, which we have prepared for you on Microsoft OneDrive. It's like a Google form. And we will then go to breakout sessions for question and answer in a smaller group format, and also so that the honors population students can hear a brief presentation from your honors advisors, either Danielle Arieta for Honors College or me for Honors Program. Placement testing, a shout out for that. I hope that you've completed your placement testing already, and if not, it is time to get going on that. Technically, the deadline for testing, for taking placement testing in English and math, is within 30 days of committing to Rutgers, so that might be overdue for some of you. So time to get going. The good news is that you don't have to do it all in one sitting. You could maybe dedicate the hour and a half or 2 hours to the English test one evening, and then give it a rest for 24 or 48 hours and then take the math test, and that would be fine. But we do need everyone tested prior to June 1st, so if you haven't taken placement tests yet, it's time to start doing that. You should know that if you have the verbal, right, what they now call the evidence-based reading and writing, if you have the SAT score of 650 or higher, that means you do not have to test in English. You would get an automatic placement into XBOS Writing 101. Similarly, if you have AP English, language exam, lit exam, it doesn't matter, or AP Calculus scores of 4 or 5 from last year, the year before, then you're going to get Rutgers credit for either XBOS Writing or Calculus 1. So, of course, you would not need to test in that area. But again, I'm talking about AP scores from prior years, okay? If you are just, or rather, since they're over now, if you just this year sat for the AP exam, either in English or Calculus, I do need you to take the placement test. I'm very sorry. Of course, we would honor your score when it comes in July, but that's just the thing. We're not going to know until July. So in the interim, if you please, I do need you to complete the placement test. But if the score comes in and you have the 4 or you have the 5, either in English or in Calculus, then of course we would not require you to take that course at Rutgers. It doesn't matter what your placement test said, okay? So whatever you get on the AP exams this spring will eventually trump what your placement test indicated. But in the interim, if you please, I need you to take the placement test. Finding out in July where you belong is simply too late in terms of how freshman courses are scheduled at Rutgers. And of course, finally, don't forget, reach out to the College Board and make sure that they are going to send Rutgers all of your AP scores for all years. So let's talk about the RBS curriculum. Think of it sort of as a pyramid. You guys are down here, right? Freshmen, starting at the beginning, and you'll be starting with pre-business courses and also the general education courses for your SAS core curriculum, and that's what we call the Gen Ed system at Rutgers. Once you complete all 6 pre-business courses, you're ready to declare your major, and you move on to the middle of the pyramid here. You will take 12 required courses in what we call the business core. These are courses that all students in the business school take. It doesn't matter what your major is, okay? So even if you are majoring in something like finance, it doesn't mean that you don't need managerial accounting and you don't need business law and you don't need introduction to supply chain. Of course you do. So this is a common set of a common set of 12 courses that all business school students are going to take regardless of what you decide upon for your major. And then finally, level 3 of the pyramid, you're taking the additional 7 or 8 courses that are specific to your chosen major. For a major like finance, it is an additional 7 courses or 21 credits. For something like accounting, it is an additional 8 courses or 24 credits. And by the way, the majors offered by the business school would be finance, accounting, the management major, which they call leadership and management, marketing, supply chain management, and also the IT major in the business school, which is called BATE. BATE stands for Business Analytics and Infotech. So those are the 6 majors that we offer at the Rutgers Business School. Also, I should point out, it's not like we're going to make you wait 5 or 6 semesters before you get to the top of the pyramid and you can finally start taking more advanced finance or accounting courses. Once you get to the point of the business core, you can be mixing it up. So you might still be pecking away at your business core classes, but as long as you have finished the introductory course in your major, like Intro to Financial Management, then yes, of course, you can move on in the major and take some of those upper level courses that are specific to finance. So once you declare your major, for the rest of your time here, you're going to be working on both of these levels at the same time. You're going to be working on business core classes that everyone has to take, but you can also dip into the upper level courses that are specific to your selected major. So the pre-business curriculum, what's that all about? All right, so you have 6 courses to take. It's going to be roughly 2 of those courses a semester for the first 3 semesters. This is roughly the order, right? You would take microeconomics and calculus 1 in your first semester. In the spring of the freshman year, macroeconomics and computer applications for business. And as a first semester sophomore, intro to stats for business and intro to financial accounting. You should be aware that all of these classes have prerequisites, namely a math prerequisite. To be able to access most of the courses on this list, you needed to have placed into Calculus 1 on your placement test, or you need to have completed pre-calculus here at Rutgers, okay? So your first 3 semesters, again, you're going to be taking roughly 2 of the 6 pre-business courses per semester over the first 3 semesters. You're also going to take alongside the pre-business courses 3 general education courses to fulfill your goals in the SAS core curriculum, which is again just the name of the general education system here at Rutgers. And you're targeting about 15 credits a semester or 5 classes, right? If you do the math on this, you need 120 credits to graduate. That would be 30 a year or roughly 15 a semester. That being said, many students do opt to scale down just a little bit, and instead of 15 credits in the first semester, they go for 13 or 14 credits. So that would be 4 classes plus one of those first year seminars that you're allowed to take. Doing this does not set you behind for graduation. You'll have plenty of semesters down the road where you're taking 16 or 17 credits. So this will all come out in the wash. It'll all even out. You're not going to be, eons behind on graduation just by virtue of deciding to go a little more conservatively in the first semester. Going conservatively in the first semester gives you a good start. It helps you kind of gear up and get better acclimated to college work. Going a little conservatively in the first semester is probably preferable to going to being too aggressive and then ending up with a weak GPA in the first semester. So something to keep in mind. So for your first semester, a sample fall schedule, if you have placed into calculus on the math placement test, and that information is going to be posted on your My Rutgers dashboard. Your schedule might look like this. Expository writing, or whatever writing course is determined for you based on your placement test results. Calculus 1, Intro to Microeconomics, and a couple of general education courses that you get to choose, all right? No right or wrong here. If you place into pre-calculus, your schedule would look like this: expository writing, or whatever writing course you land in, pre-calculus, and then instead of economics plus 2 general education courses, you would be taking 3 general education courses because you're not able to start economics classes until the spring semester if you placed into a pre-calculus course, all right? Remember, pre-calculus is a prerequisite to study of economics at Rutgers. So, but don't stress about this. We call placing into pre-calculus normal. It just means that you'll be working faster on your general ed requirements because you're not yet able to take economics courses until you start calculus, all right? But these are all required courses, whether pre-business, general education, nothing for you to be worried about. Our international students, you should note that if you place into EAD for English, and EAD stands for English as Academic Discourse, that is the ESL system at Rutgers, English as a Second Language. If you place into EAD for English, your schedule should look like this: EAD, Calculus or Math by Placement, and 2 more courses of your choosing for your gen ed requirements, but probably not economics. It's actually a good idea to not start economics classes immediately if you have placed into EAD for English. This is a lot. This is a lot for you to get used to, all of your classes being conducted in English, and you might do better in economics. You might understand the lecture content better if you give yourself a 1-semester break from economics and save economics until the spring semester. And again, this applies mostly to international students who place into EAD for their English class. Okay. Also, international students, if you do place into EAD, all right, we recommend that you start conservatively with 4 classes instead of 5. This is a lot to adjust to when you're not used to having all of your classes in English. And again, starting off with 4 courses in your very first semester is not going to put you behind for graduation, definitely not. This is even something that I recommend to domestic students. There are many advantages to starting conservatively, not the least of which is that you will probably end up with a better GPA in December to bring home to mom and dad, right? So you're welcome. All right, think about starting conservatively as you kind of gear up and get yourself acclimated to college level academics. So more on pre-business. If your math placement is calculus, then you are on the road to take 2 pre-business classes per semester over the first 3 semesters. So this fall would be Intro to Microeconomics and Calculus 1. Next spring, at the end of your freshman year, Intro to Macroeconomics and Computer Apps for Business. And finally, as a first semester sophomore next fall, Intro to Stats for Business and Intro to Financial Accounting, okay? So 2 courses a semester over your first 3 semesters. This is if you are a calculus place student. If you place, however, into pre-calculus, and again, this is nothing to stress about, then you are on the path to take 3 pre-business courses per semester over 2 semesters. And those 2 semesters would be the end of your sophomore year, spring of 2021, and fall of 2021, the start of the sophomore year. So Intro to Microeconomics and Calculus and Computer Applications for Business would be spring of 2021, end of the freshman year. And Macro, Stats for Business, Intro to Financial Accounting in the beginning of the sophomore year, all right? If this sounds like a lot to you, do not worry. We do not demand that you finish all 6 pre-business courses by the fall of the sophomore year. If you need to, you can certainly stretch out that pre-business until the end of the sophomore year. So the absolute deadline to finish up all 6 pre-business classes would be May of your sophomore year, okay? So if you need more time than this to stretch out pre-business, you can absolutely have it, all right? May of the sophomore year is the deadline. Brand new for you guys, right? The current freshmen weren't even able to take advantage of this. Financial accounting is now a course that you can choose in the 2nd semester of your freshman year. Right now it is stated as sophomores and up only, but for you guys, you'll be able to take it in the spring of your freshman year. All right, Computer Applications for Business, Stats for Business, you should be aware that when you go to select courses today, those options will not appear on the course menu. However, during the September add drop period, you might be able to add one or the other, right? For this period right now, the registration period for our new incoming students, those 2 pre-business courses are kind of reserved for incoming transfer students. But whatever seats we don't need once the summer comes to an end, those will be opened up during the add-drop period, so you can still have at it during the add-drop period. Those are just not classes that you can request right now, okay? So let's talk for a second about the SAS core curriculum, right? Yep, I realize you're not in SAS. This is what we call the general ed system at Rutgers. It's called the SAS core curriculum, and it's a very sophisticated system based on learning goals, right? You're taking a number of courses within 2 broad areas in the liberal arts and sciences in order to meet those stated learning goals. So the 2 broad areas would be the areas of inquiry, right? Basically content knowledge, history, and social sciences, etc. And the second area is cognitive skills and processes. So that would be basically your writing skills and your math skills. So the areas of inquiry are what I'm calling the content areas, right? There are 4 of them. You have contemporary challenges, which are basically multidisciplinary courses in the School of Arts and Sciences. Natural science classes, right? You have to take 2 of each, 2 contemporary challenges, 2 natural sciences. Social and historical analysis, 2 courses needed here as well, 1 social, 1 historical. You should note that microeconomics fulfills social analysis, so you guys, because of the pre-business course list, you never have to worry about doing social analysis. That is automatically done for you with the microeconomics course that we make you take. Arts and humanities, 2 courses here as well, 1 that's more arts, 1 that's more humanities. And you notice I put abbreviations here. You will see these throughout the forms today, so you have an idea of what all of these courses satisfy when you go to make selections today. Contemporary challenges, you should know that's broken down into 2 subcategories. We have diversities and social inequalities, or our common future. So diversities and social inequalities would be courses like sociological analysis of social problems, or women and gender studies 101. Our common future, those would be courses like energy and climate change, intro to environmental sciences, all right? So contemporary challenges does have 2 subcategories, and you do have to take a course in each subcategory, 1 in each subcategory over your 4 years here. Cognitive skills and processes, all right? Like I mentioned before, these are your writing skills, your math skills, or what we call quant and formal reasoning. You guys will never have to worry about fulfilling quantitative and formal reasoning because, once again, your pre-business courses automatically fulfill that area for you, right? We make you take calculus, we make you take comp apps for business, we make you take stats for business. So that's more than enough, and you will have totally fulfilled the quant and formal reasoning area just by virtue of the pre-business courses we make you take. The writing courses, you have Expository 101 to do, Expository Writing 101, and 2 more writing courses before your 4 years are done. 1 writing course that focuses more on revision and editing, and another writing course in an academic discipline. Okay, I'm going to screen share something different in a minute. I'm going to share with you, mine is an Excel file, but we sent it to you as a PDF. I'm going to just kind of peruse the course menu very quickly to just give you a little more familiarity with that, show you that we identified areas of the SAS core curriculum that those courses would fulfill. And once we get to completing the online course form together today, there is no right or wrong, right? You might pick a natural science and maybe a history to round out your fall schedule. Maybe your roommate went for a social science and an arts and humanities. Totally fine, right? It's all in the eye of the beholder. There's no right or wrong when it comes to picking your SAS core curriculum classes today. All right, I'm going to stop sharing to share Excel. Okay, when we confirmed you for this session today, we sent you some attachments, one of which was a PDF course menu of different options available to you this fall, okay? So when we go to fill out the form together, there are basically 10 blanks that you have to fill out, but they're not all blanks. So this job is going to be easier on you than you think. There are certain courses that we chose automatically for you, so you don't actually have to make as many as 10 selections today, all right? And we'll give you the link to the form later, don't worry. So as we go through this menu of courses available to you, you see that we put the code, right? Here's the answer key. These abbreviations tell you what kind of course that is, what it fulfills in the SAS core for you. If it's contemporary challenges or natural sciences or historical, this is the answer key. This tells you what that course fulfills. You should also note that on this menu, you will see a number of courses where 2 areas are listed. Something like Intro to Environmental Science, you'll see that that has the abbreviations CC next to it and NS for Natural Sciences. So that does mean, yes, that you could get 1 Contemporary Challenges and 1 Natural Sciences out of a course like Intro to Environmental Sciences, okay? So it is possible to double dip in the SAS core curriculum. You can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get 2 particular requirements done with just 1 course. What I have shaded in yellow here, these are things that we're automatically going to be giving to you unless you AP out of these courses, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But everybody, all freshmen, would be taking expository writing, Calculus 1, and either micro or macroeconomics this fall, right? These are automatic courses that have already been populated for you on the form. Other courses that you can choose from, we have business classes that are already open to freshmen, and I'll talk about those a little bit later as well. You might really want to try for management skills or business forum. Here's some more math courses, but you don't have to go there because remember we automatically selected calculus for you. So there's no reason that you have to take intro to probability. These classes are just listed here for those that are truly math interested. We have a lot of natural science courses here for you to select. Okay. SAS signature classes, sort of featured classes, right? Showcase classes, if you will, in the School of Arts and Sciences. And a lot of the courses today fall into this category: social science, history, and humanities. And I've listed them alphabetically by department for you to make things easier to find, right? A lot of cool departments here, a lot of overlooked departments. Look, cinema studies, American studies, comparative literature, right? English literature, geography, lots of history classes to choose from. So a whole lot of courses here in this area of social sciences and history, okay? And then down towards the bottom, professional schools and the arts. A lot of overlooked departments here too, right? Labor studies. Labor studies and communications have a lot of cool offerings. Public health, right? Very appropriate for these times. The military education courses, and finally world languages. And before you ask, no, Rutgers Business School students do not have to take a foreign language. That's entirely up to you. However, if you are in one of the honors populations, yes, you do. Honors program and honors college students, you do have a world language requirement as part of your honors requirements, but that's an honors thing. It is not really a business school requirement. Okay? So you'll be using this menu as a guide for yourself when it's time to fill out the form. And again, there are so many choices here, well over 200 courses on this menu. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's all in the eye of the beholder, right? What would be a really cool class for me might be torture for you, all right? So you definitely have a lot of latitude in what you pick this fall to round out your schedule alongside your pre-business stuff, okay? I'm going to stop sharing this because I do need to go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, this is the point in the presentation when you're all probably starting to glaze over and yawn and say, I'm so confused, please just tell me what to take. So here's a schedule suggestion. Expos Writing 101, of course, right? That's kind of mandatory. The math that you place into, calc or pre-calc. Microeconomics or a general ed course choice if you did not place into calculus. Remember, you need to place into calculus to take economics. General ed, something for your general ed. Consider taking management skills or business forum, right? Those business classes that we let freshmen take. This would come out to about 15 credits or so, and you can still add one of those 1-credit Burn or FIG seminars to this. Management skills, business forum, what are those? I'm glad you asked. So these are business core classes that we already allow first semester freshmen to take, even though you are not yet at the point of declaring your major. Management skills is an organizational behavior class. It's a pretty cool class. It is not large lecture. It is set up so that the max size of the class is about 50 students. It is set up at round tables, kind of dining style instead of lecture format. A lot of team building, a lot of projects in there. It's a pretty cool class. Again, the topic is organizational behavior. And business forum, this is a mandatory class that you eventually have to take. You can take it this semester, but you don't have to. That's a 2-credit professional development course that we require students to take. The kind of things you do in there would be resume development, interview skills, interview attire. There will be times when you actually have to suit up to come to class. You have to perform a mock interview as part of your course requirements in business forum. So clearly this is getting you ready for the professional world post-graduation or even pre-internship, right? You have to know how to interview to land an internship. So many courses on this list, right? Overwhelming, I don't know where to start. So here's another schedule suggestion, XPOS Writing 101, calculus or pre-calculus, wherever you land, microeconomics, if you place into Calc and you can have microecon already. Perhaps consider picking a couple of general ed classes based on what you liked in high school. You have to start somewhere, right? So ask yourself the question, what did you really like in high school? All right, and don't tell me nothing. I don't believe you. History, English, you liked something. So that's as good a place as any to start, right? I have college kids at home too. I get that. They tell me each and every day how they liked nothing in high school. Whatever. You have to start somewhere, and I'm sure you liked some classes better than others in high school, so that's as good a place to start as any. So consider picking a history class if that was really your thing in high school, because you do have the historical analysis requirement to fulfill for your SAS core requirements, right? And to this, you could still add some of those cool 1-credit Burn seminars or FIG seminars to a schedule like this. All right, students always ask me when we're doing these APA sessions on campus, so what do freshmen usually take? So no such thing, but these are departments. I'm giving you a little cheat sheet here. These are departments that have popular offerings at the 100 and 200 course level, which is appropriate for a freshman, right? American Studies, Anthropology, they have really cool offerings. Communications, ditto, right? Geography, Geology, and so on. Religion, Sociology. These are some really cool departments with a lot of offerings at the 1 and 200 level for you to consider, all right? So this is just a short cheat sheet of departments that have stuff for you, all right? Check them out. I'm going to go back to sharing my web browser again because I'm going to walk you through special opportunities for freshmen, namely Burn seminars and FIG seminars, those cool 1-credit seminars that are only available to freshmen. SAS signature courses are available to you all 4 years, but I'll quickly tell you what those even are. Living learning communities, sort of themed residential communities on campus around a shared academic interest. So I have to stop sharing this so that I can get to my web browser. Okay, Burn seminars. If this font is too small for you to see and you want to follow along on your own, you just type in Burn in the singular, burn.rutgers.edu, and you will be redirected to this website. Burn seminars are taught by faculty. They are cool 1-credit pass-fail seminars that only last for 10 weeks. All right, they are discussion-based courses that don't involve a lot of homework or reading or textbooks. You basically have to show up and participate. So anyone that fails a Burn seminar, you had to try really hard to do that, right? These are pretty interesting seminars, and again, you have to show up, you have to discuss, you have to participate. I'm going to show you, just to give you an idea of some of the cool topics that are offered. And again, these are all taught by professors. These are top research faculty members at Rutgers, and the titles of the Burn seminars vary between the fall and the spring. So if you see a cool one now that really appeals to you for the fall semester, you should ask for it, right? Look at some of these titles: American Roots Music, Music, Sound, and Landscape, The Books That Make Us, up and down the streets of the metropolis. Who needs music, yoga, finding calm in chaos, right? In the sciences. You don't eat meat. Brunswick Body and Bikes, clean energy. So, you know, no shortage of cool titles. I think they have something like 80 or 90 sections for the fall semester. When you go to, if you're interested in these one-credit seminars taught by our faculty, we have drop-down menus at the course request form, all right? So you don't have to keep flipping back and forth. You'll just go back and forth to the website if you want to read the full description, right? Because if you click on one of the titles, you'll get the quick synopsis of what this is all about. Governors 2020, the most overlooked powerful people in politics, okay? So the website can give you the full synopsis of what that Burns seminar is all about. Now, similar to Burns would be the FIGS seminars. FIGS stands for First Year Interest Group Seminars. These are also one credit, pass-fail, 10 weeks long, discussion-based, show up and participate kind of classes. But instead of being taught by faculty, these are taught by carefully screened juniors and seniors who are majoring in these areas. So the titles of these FIG seminars are all exploring something, exploring business, exploring economics, exploring mathematics, exploring political science, exploring philosophy, and so on and so forth. Let's see if I can just pull up the topics list here. All right, so you see here a big swath of some of the exploring something classes for this fall semester, exploring American studies, exploring art history. Again, one credit, pass fail. What's really good about these classes is that you get to explore a broader academic area in the fall semester, and these FIGS seminars, by the way, are only offered in the fall semester, whereas the Burns seminars I just told you about a moment ago, those are offered both fall and spring, but with different titles. Another great thing about these one-credit freshman seminars is that they are capped at about 22 to 24 students. That's as large as these classes are allowed to get. So it's really a great opportunity to get to know a peer instructor majoring in this particular area, or a top faculty member at Rutgers if you go for a Burns seminar instead in these intimate, small section settings, okay? So that's another of the many benefits of these one-credit seminars that are only for freshmen, FIGS, and Burns. You'll see them again when you go to your course request form this afternoon. Signature courses, SAS signature courses. These are not one-credit pass-fail seminars. These are regular 3- and 4-credit classes, mostly 4-credit classes. The 4 that are being featured this fall are Extinction, Heroism, Inequality, and a cool history class called Wars, Wayfarers, and the Wall. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but again, signature classes vary by semester. It's always a different class that's being featured. These are basically, featured arts and sciences courses that are multidisciplinary in nature and usually satisfy more than one goal in the SAS core curriculum. So if you're interested in these, this is a section of your course menu as well. So you could go for a course like this. All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to get around my menu here so I can pull up the living learning communities. And I give up, so I'm just going to type it in again. Okay, living learning communities, all right? These are residential, most of them are residential opportunities around a shared academic interest, okay? So if you lived in something like the Psychology Discovery House or the Business Discovery House, you're sharing a floor in a residence hall or a house in the quads with others that share that academic interest with you. And so it's not only activities and trips that you do together, but also shared courses. So if you went for, say, the Business Discovery House this fall, you would share with your house a section of Intro to Macroeconomics, and also a section of expository writing with other members of the House, okay? So certainly makes study groups pretty convenient. So a list of some of the freshman living learning communities from which you can choose. Right? We have the Asian American Identities and Images, Business Discovery House. New last year, this is a pretty popular one, the Entrepreneurship and Innovation House, French Language and Culture, Law and Political Science. You get the idea. So if this is something that you would be interested in, sort of these themed living communities, this is something, again, that you can select on your course request form today. And if you express an interest in one of these communities, then the staff of the Living Learning Communities would be reaching out to you probably in the next week or so. So you can expect that. And once again, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, I just wanted to point this out to you because sometimes the questions that come up in our breakout rooms are all, you can find them all in writing as well at the link to our website for admitted students. Okay, so this is something that your My Rutgers sort of navigates you to. This is the page at the RBS website for incoming student info. Carrie Ann, when you get a chance, could you copy and paste that into the chat just so everyone has it? Maybe they can bookmark it for future reference. So from this website that we have for you, you can look up things like the AP courses and what would I get credit for if I had a 4 or a 5 in this area. So some of the general incoming freshman housekeeping kinds of questions, you can find the answers to here at our freshman link, okay, for admitted students or better termed enrolling students. Okay, the online course request form. We're about to start sharing that with you. In a minute, Carrie Ann will share the link with you in the chat feature, and you'll see that we already have filled in some courses for you. So your job today is basically just to fill in the open spaces on the course request form, including some alternate course choices for us. You can choose anything that interests you. Remember what I said about no right or wrong? Okay. Also, keep in mind, no apples for apples. Just because you kind of think you might AP out of expository writing, the exam this year seemed to go pretty well. It doesn't mean that you have to pick another English course or another writing course as your alternate to Expository Writing 101. Your alternate choices today can be absolutely anything that you want, all right? So you don't have to stick with like things, right? If you're going to AP out of Calculus 1 or you already did last year, that doesn't mean that your alternate for Calculus 1 on your schedule has to be another math course. Absolutely not. In fact, the business school curriculum doesn't even make you go further than Calc 1. So you can pick anything you want pretty much for any slot on your schedule. There's no right or wrong here, and you have some flexibility in what you choose. Also, I want to give a shout out for exploring, you know, just a little encouragement for you to do this. Not everything that you're going to take for 4 full years is going to be to fulfill requirements. Step outside your comfort zone a little bit and check out some new academic areas that most likely were not made available to you in high school, right? If you do the math on this, your business major is a lot of credits. It's going to be upwards of 55 credits, right? Between 56 and 59, actually. The SAS core curriculum could cost you as many as 30 credits, but probably not. Remember what I told you a few minutes ago about how some courses double dip and satisfy 2 requirements with 1 class. So all in all, you're looking at, say, 89 credits, right? 89 credits doesn't graduate you from this place. You need 120 to graduate with a bachelor's degree. So there is certainly room for a little bit of academic exploration or maybe to think about studying a new language or doing a minor, all right? Don't think that everything you have to do for 4 years is just requirement after requirement, okay? It's not like that, and there is some room to explore. Okay, I'm going to share with you the course request form, and I think Carrie Ann already shared with you the link to the OneDrive form that we're going to need you to complete, hopefully today before you go to bed or sometime in the next 24 hours, all right? We're going to need that form back from you. And I'm going to stop sharing now so that I can show you the form. And I don't expect you to fill out your form with me. You're probably better off just kind of watching as I go through the form and let you know kind of what we're looking for in all of these areas. Okay. So this is what the course request form looks like. Hopefully you've navigated to have it open in a tab on your web browser. But again, I don't expect you to fill out the form right now. You're probably better off just kind of watching what we're looking for, what kind of information we need from you in all of these questions, okay? So important to note that you have time, check over your responses today before you submit, because we can only accept one form submission per student, and certainly you'll have full access at the end of the summer during the add drop period in September to make changes to your schedule. But be comfortable with your choices before you hit submit today. We can only accept one form submission per student. If a question does not apply to you, you will be able to just indicate no or none, either in the text box or the drop-down menu. The first choice for all of the questions is always no, none, all right? So don't worry if a question doesn't apply to you or if you're not interested in that kind of course. All right, just going through the menu, pretty obvious housekeeping stuff here, right? Your last name, your first name, your middle initial, your RUID. Please look up that information for us. You'll find it on your OneDrive, or rather your My Rutgers portal, right? Your My Rutgers portal with all of your admissions information. Everybody was assigned an RUID. Most of them started with 199 or 200. Preferred email address. What's the best way to reach you this summer? All right, if we have a question regarding anything you put on this form, we'll probably email you. Similarly, please provide us with an area code and a phone number where we can reach you. Street address, city, state, or province. Zip code, if you live overseas and zip code doesn't apply to you, just put none in here, don't worry. Country. And please tell us in which APA did you participate. We have the drop-down menu, and today is the 19th of May. Possible major choice. Do not sweat about this, right? If you really, really don't know, notice that the first answer is undecided, not sure yet, okay? So don't worry about this. But if you do have an idea of what you're interested in majoring in, would you just let us know? We're just kind of curious where everybody is headed, all right? This is not a major declaration. We're not going to hold you to this. Are you an incoming student in EOF, in the Honors College, in the SAS Honors Program? None of the above, okay? Similarly, are you an international student? Yes or no? And then we start asking you questions about courses for the fall semester, right? Expository Writing 101, or whatever writing course you placed into, we're going to ask for you. Please list here, though, your alternate option, if just for whatever the what-ifs are that might come into play here. Maybe you AP out of expository writing, maybe there are scheduling issues. If not expository writing, what would be your alternate choice for expository writing? And again, anything you want. It doesn't have to be an English course. It does not have to be a writing course. Calculus, everyone pretty much gets that automatically unless you AP out of it. But please, once again, give us an alternate choice here. All right, anything you want. All right, if you're interested in studying more math and you think you might do well on the AP, but obviously we don't know yet what your score is, your answer here can simply be next level of calculus if you really want to go there. I do have students every year that are interested in Calc 2 or multivariable or whatever the next step in calculus would be. All right, for every course, basically we need an alternate from you. Course number 3, you don't have to do anything here because we're already going to pick economics for you if you are eligible to take economics. And if you're not eligible to take economics because you did not place into Calculus 1, do not worry. Further down on this form, I think it's question 23, I'm asking you for even more alternates. So those are the ones that I'll start using if you're not ready to take economics yet because you are not a calculus place student. Course number 4. what is your preference? What do you want to take? You can put whatever you want here. Management skills, intro to sociology, absolutely anything you want. And if you don't get that selection, what is your alternate choice for course number 4 on your schedule? And same thing here, course number 5, right? What is your preferred option? And if you don't get that first choice, what is your alternate for course number 5? Please note that if you're taking me seriously about starting conservatively and only doing 4 classes, that is absolutely fine. And then your answers here for question 21 and 22 under course number 5, you can just put no, none, I don't want one, all right? And we'll get it. We understand that what you're saying is you'd like to start conservatively and only take 4 classes in the fall semester, and that's absolutely fine. In this question, number 23, you're going to give me at least 3 more acceptable alternates. Right? Choose carefully. It's very likely that you're going to see 1 or more of these alternates this fall. So give me 3 more just in case I need them for whatever reason, right? Schedule issues, giving you your first choice. You end up APing out of a lot of stuff. I want 3 more alternates from you just in case I need them. Okay? Giving me a lot of alternates makes certain that you're happy with your fall course lineup, right? So the more alternate choices you give me, the happier you will be with your fall schedule. Question 24, you're under no obligation to say yes, but are you willing to take any online versions of courses that you might select on this form? This might increase the likelihood that you get a seat in a popular course, but you are certainly under no obligation to agree to this. Okay? Yes or no? World language, did you take one in high school? And what was that world language? And tell us what level you studied through, right? Did you get through level 2, 3, 4, advanced placement, right? Tell us what high school language and what level was your last level in high school. Do you speak another language at home? Yes or no? What language is that? Are you a recruited athlete? And I'm not talking about club sports and, you know, that you plan to do intramural basketball or something like that. If you're a recruited athlete, we need to know what team recruited you, what sport was that, is it men's or women's. What happens is we add an extra course to your schedule that blocks out all of the space that you need for your practice times to make sure that you don't accidentally end up with microeconomics when you're supposed to be at lacrosse practice, okay? So if you are a recruited athlete for the university, please tell us yes or no, what sport it is, and if it's men's or women's. Military education, right? Have you been recruited by ROTC, Reserve Officers Training Corps, Army, Air Force, Navy? Do you have religious obligations that we should be aware of, right? For scheduling purposes, do you strictly observe the Sabbath, in which case you need no Friday afternoon classes after 2 p.m.? Do you need noontime call to prayer on Fridays? No religious considerations that we need to be aware of. And if it's something else that maybe I didn't cover here, you can just check off other and then use the notes section at the end of the form to tell me what's going on. And again, this is another situation where we add sort of a fake course number to your schedule to block out the necessary time that you would need, either for Friday afternoon Sabbath or for noontime call to prayer. All right, we do have codes that block that time out for you. First year seminars, living learning communities. Burn seminars, remember these are the ones that are taught by faculty. So if you're interested in those freshman burn seminars, all right, we have the drop-down menu here of every single course on the burn menu, all right? If you're just not interested in a burn seminar this fall, then you just check off the very first option, no or none, okay? But if you are, then we have the drop-down menu for you here of the different course choices available to you, okay? And you'll notice that we rack them up. First choice burn, second choice burn, third choice burn, right? So you're in essence giving us alternate choices as well for the burn seminars that you might want, right? Giving alternates helps ensure that you might get one of those on your fall schedule, okay? Some of you are making requests to note something, I guess, on the whiteboard, which I have to decline during the plenary session. So we'll get to all of your questions during breakouts, don't you worry. We're not accepting them right now. The SIG choices, these are the ones that are taught by juniors and seniors, exploring a broader academic area, right? Like exploring business, exploring economics. Again, a drop-down menu, right? If these are of interest to you, check them off. If you're not interested at all, not a problem. The very first answer is none, okay? And just like for the burns, we want your first choice, second choice, third choice, fourth choice. Giving us more than one possible option helps ensure that you are pretty likely to get one. It's still not a guarantee, but at least by giving us several options from which to choose, it increases the likelihood you'll see it on your fall schedule. Living learning communities, again, optional. You're under no obligation to say yes to this, and the very first choice is none if you're just not interested. But if you are interested in one of these living communities, check it off here, and the appropriate staff will end up getting in touch with you. Okay, the AP section, International Baccalaureate, A-level exams. We would like to know in this section, please, for the APs, we just need to know about your past scores. Whatever exams you're taking this year, we'll find out about that when your scores come in July. But whatever scores you already earned, whatever 4s and 5s you already have under your belt, tell us about those in this section, because that will help us keep certain courses that you don't need off of your fall schedule, right? So you would mark off whatever exams you already took in past years, and we only need to know about the scores that were 4s and 5s, because those are the only ones that would grant you some kind of Rutgers credit, right? So advanced placement, right, find your exam, right? If it was biology, you would check that off. And then in the very next question, right, question 45, you have to tell us if it was a 4 or a 5, okay? And this keeps going all the way from question 44 all the way through question 68. So for those of you that took a multitude of advanced placement exams in prior years, I think we've allocated enough space on the form for you to do that. So, right, always the first question is tell us what exam it was. And then the very next question, what was your score, a 4 or a 5, okay? And again, these are just for past years. Please do not record in this section any of your exams for this year, for 2020. You will handle that basically by just sending us the scores. Make sure that the College Board knows to send us those scores in July. And again, this keeps going and going. For those of you that took a ton of AP exams in past years, goes all the way through question number 67, okay? And finally, question 68. If you participated instead in the International Baccalaureate program, the IB, you should know that we accept higher level exam scores of 5, 6, or 7. So here in this text box, tell us what HL exams you took or you are taking. Tell us what your scores were. If you don't yet know your scores because you just took those exams this year, then at least tell us what your higher level exams were, and make sure that you follow up by sending the transcript to Rutgers, okay? If you did not participate in International Baccalaureate, not a problem. The answer to this question is simply no, none, okay? Similarly, for you international students, the A-levels program, right, did you participate? You would indicate your advanced level exam scores of A, B, C, or D. We only award credit for advanced level, not for ordinary level, not for advanced subsidiary. Only exam scores of A, B, C, D. So please tell us what your advanced level subjects were, and make sure that you have the official transcript forwarded to Rutgers this summer. If this does not apply to you, right, for all domestic students, this would not apply to you. You would just put no or none in this textbook box, not a problem. Question 70, have you taken prior college courses via a dual enrollment program? You know, the county colleges that often offer high school, college courses in your high school program? Yes or no? We would accept a maximum of 4 dual enrollment courses transferable for some credit. And if you took any dual enrollment programs, please indicate what courses, what college, what semester, and have the official transcripts sent to Rutgers this summer. We evaluate those transcripts in the fall. We don't evaluate them over the summer. We wouldn't have time to do that and still prepare your schedules in time. But if this doesn't apply to you, simply indicate none. If it does apply to you, just let us know what course, what semester, what the institution was. Will you have a New Jersey Community College associate's degree that is compliant when you graduate high school? Tell us yes or no. And if you did participate in one of those New Jersey Community College associate's degree programs, what college was that at? Remember, we only have an articulation agreement with community colleges in New Jersey, and we don't have that agreement with any other schools. Notes, comments. If there's anything else that I neglected on this form that you need to tell us, please tell us here within reason. If you tell us, I'm not a morning person, so please don't schedule me for anything before 11 a.m. Yeah, we can accommodate that. But anything else we might have overlooked, a different religious consideration that we need to take into account, please let us know, okay? And for the honors program section here, honors college section, once you get to your honors breakout rooms, we'll let you know if there's any information to put in there. Sometimes you'll have something quirky and we're not quite sure what to do with that, and we'll tell you, oh, you know what, put that in the notes for the honors section on your form, all right? But if you're not in honors population, you don't need to worry about this. So that's a quick overview of the course request form and what we're looking for. And I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint once again. Yeah, pretty much covered all of this, right? You should note that we are expecting you to submit your course request form today, you know, before you turn in. If you finish this session and you want to have some dinner and mull some of this over for a while, that's not a problem. But please, this evening, submit it. We'll be looking for them in the morning. If you need a little additional time in the morning, I don't find that particularly disturbing. Don't worry about it. But we are looking to have these certainly within the next 24 hours and preferably this evening. If you are an international student, I realize it's somewhere between, you know, midnight and 2 in the morning where you are. So sometime within the next 24 hours would be great. I don't expect you to stay up until the sun rises to complete my course request form. Let's talk about those dual enrollment credits again for a second. Like most professional schools in New Brunswick, we have restrictions on the transfer of credits from dual enrollment programs. Most coursework would transfer into Rutgers as general elective credit rather than credit for a specific course. If it's something like expository writing or math or pre-business courses, those have to be taken here at Rutgers, New Brunswick, all right? We wouldn't accept dual enrollment credits for those courses. Dual enrollment credits usually don't exempt you from a course at Rutgers, and the business school would accept no more than 4 transferable for credit. It's a little different if you have an associate's degree. The minimum grade that you needed to earn has to be B- or better, not below that, not a C+ or below. And we would not consider elementary level world language courses for credit, simply because you had to take 2 of those just to get admitted to college. That was part of the requirements for your admissions application. So that's not something for which we would grant college credit, and the community colleges certainly shouldn't have scheduled you for that. You should know regarding your form, I see a lot of stress when we have in-person breakout rooms or even when we have virtual breakout rooms. There's no way for you to screw up this form. That's absolutely impossible. Real advisors, real human beings, read your form one by one, and we personally input all of your data. So if you request something, you know, wrong, something that you're not eligible for, perhaps, like due to your math placement, if you AP out of something, we know. We're on it. We'll take care of it. Have some trust in your advisors that if there's anything that's perhaps off on your course request form, we will fix it. We're like autocorrect. Don't you worry. If you have any questions in the next few days or during the summer months, you can reach out to the first year's mailbox, firstyears@business.rutgers.edu. Please allow a reasonable time frame for a response. That would be between 2 and 4 business days. I know it probably seems illogical. It's summer. What do we have to do? But we're actually academically reviewing about 950 outgoing freshmen, as well as scheduling 950 incoming freshmen. So we have plenty to do. So please allow a reasonable time frame for a response, and we promise we'll get back to you as soon as humanly possible. So do allow a reasonable time frame. We're not ignoring you. Always include your full name and your RUID. may perhaps make it part of your email signature. I get plenty of emails at this time of year, and not just from you guys, even from my outgoing freshmen who are soon to be sophomores. Hi, my name is Kelly, and there's no other identifying info, no last name, no RUID. I have no idea what to do with that, because pretty much any email inquiry we get requires that we look up your records to see what you're talking about. So please remember to include your full name and your RUID if you would be so kind. Do not resend emails just because we haven't gotten back to you in 6 hours. Do not send the same email to 5 different people, right? That's sort of against the rules of email etiquette around here. Patiently wait for a response. If you have reached the wrong person, we promise that we will forward your email inquiry to the right person. And emailing 5 different people, that's just really not fair. It is a bad use of staff resources, and it means that 5 people are answering your inquiry when we could have been responding to 5 separate students. So have some courtesy for your fellow students, and just patiently wait for a response when you email us. I think I've covered this already. We're busiest in the summer months. It takes many weeks of long hours to generate these schedules. So double check all of your course selections today. We can only accept 1 form submission per student. You will have full online access, we promise, to make all of the add drop period changes that you might want to make once the Labor Day weekend rolls around. And in a second, we're going to follow Carrie Ann's directions and send you to breakout rooms where you can get all of your questions answered and start working on your form. If you're honors population and your honors program, you're coming with me. I have an additional much shorter, I promise, PowerPoint to share with all of you. Carrie Ann is going to assign us to rooms in a moment, but before we go to room assignment, for those of you that joined us via recording today, thanks for joining, and you have the email address for reaching out if you have any follow-up questions, okay? Thanks for joining us, and we'll sign off now. Carrie Ann, I think this is a good point to stop the recording.